Okay, now it looks like you can hear me. For some reason, every time that I have scheduled a stream, it resets my microphone. And then once I'm in the stream, I don't know how to change my microphone. So I'm never going to try to pre-plan a stream, I guess. I have no fucking clue. It's pissing me off. It's 3 times in a row now where I've scheduled it so people would get updates that, hey, I'm doing a stream. And it never, ever works out. It always changes. And I've had to do this 3 straight times. So this is my first stream from my new house. And what's really weird is I may be moving again soon if things work out. I am in the process of buying a house right now. And if you are in the market to buy a house, it is nigh on impossible to get a offer in because, hello, everybody. I'm glad you are joining me today, but it's impossible to buy a house. So my old house that I was in for the last 2 years that you all saw me in it, I was there for 8 altogether. It was sold and OPEC. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. I got your email. But my last house got sold to another landlord. I'd already went through 3 different landlords, and then they wanted their house, or that house that I had. It was townhouse for family members. Had to moved a little ways around over town into a bigger house. And have you ever noticed that even if you get a bigger house than the one you're in, you still don't have enough room for all your shit? I do have 5 drum sets, which I guess that probably has a lot to do with it. But I haven't done a live stream in a while. I have a huge zit, which fucking is a bummer. 44 years old, still getting zits, man. What's that about? So I wanted to talk about a few things today. If you see the title, it's about the channel Revamp. And this is going to be something kind of big that I've been thinking about for a while. But first, let's talk about drum nerd shit. I bought a new drum set yesterday, and I need another drum set, like a hole in my head. But the metal band that I'm in, which has, there's videos on my channel of me playing in that band. I had this like D drum Journeyman, which was a real beginner set, but I bought it because it was the only one I could find in a price range that I could afford at the time that had a 24-inch bass drum. And actually, the bass drum on that set is great. When I recorded the record, we used the bass drum, but then I used like really high-end Ludwig toms on the set. But we've got some like bigger shows coming up, doing like a festival and opening for like the kind of a bigger metal band, like a band that you would probably might know. And I was not going to show up with a beginner drum set again because my main kit is a Premier Vitria. Actually, I'm going to talk about all of my kits. A lot of my comment section talk about, ask me about what gear I play. And I am a gear nerd, but I think sometimes like talking about gear is, I don't know, tedious. But my main kit is a Premier Vitria, and I love it. It's purple. It's my main rig, right? I've got 10, 12, 14, 16, and I usually use 12 and 16 or 12 and 14. Then I have a jazz kit that I use, kind of a travel kit for like gigs that are, smaller or have less room. And that's it's like an 18, 10, and 13. And man, it's another low end kit because it's a Yamaha Rydeen. And man, that drum set, and I've got fiber skins on it, and that fucking drum set sounds fucking great. If you go on my me playing playlist from one of the songs I posted during Christmas, I'm playing that kit in there, and man, it's weird. It's a cheap kit and it sounds fucking great. Hey, stop. I've got a new dog I'm dealing with too. Hey, stop. She's trying to chew on some small little metal thing that dropped on the floor. Then I have an electronic kit that I teach on. I have a Yamaha DTX, and in my opinion, of the electronic drum sets, those are the kits that feel and have the most response that feels like a real drum set. Now, of course, still feels like playing an electronic set. But since my big part of my teaching now is at home, like I work at the house more than I do in my studio because of, the thing that happened. Hey, stop. You got to quit. Okay. Where was that? Studio. Yeah. I teach at home now more than I do in the studio, which was not like that before March 16th of last year. And what else kit do I have? And then right before the pandemic happened, I bought another Premiere that was a custom that was made out of mahogany, but it's completely roached and it needs so much work. And I'd planned on, that being like a project kit, and that being, and it is in a white marine. Oh, it's like satin flame. White satin flame is what it is. And it's made out of mahogany. Now, being a woodworker, I can tell you that's not real mahogany. It's probably sapele. But that's just sitting in pieces. And then I had that D-Drum Journeyman, which actually was bought by the guitar player, because at that time that band started, I kind of didn't have the bread. And then yesterday I broke down, and I'd been thinking about it for a while, and I will get to the chat as well. And super chats are on, everyone. Because I also want to do this as a Ask Me Anything video. That zit is banging. Look at that. 44, still getting zits. Man, when I was a kid, I had them real bad. I had to take Accutane. It was miserable. What's up, not Harvey Weinstein? That's the fucking hilarious screen name. That's anytime that comes up, I remember that screen name when you come up in my comment section. Also, not Harvey Weinstein, you commented about taking lessons. I sent you my email address. My email address is junkdrummertv@gmail if you're interested, because I am teaching at home. But anyway, my metal band has actually got a bunch of cool gigs, and we're opening up for a really big metal band, and I was not going to show up with a crappy drum set, so I went and bought yesterday, actually. I bought a Mapex Mars Pro. I think this is called the Driftwood. This is a covering, but this is made out of birch. These drum sets for the price are fucking phenomenal. I've got a buddy who has one. He's got one. I think his is like Dragon something. But I got it. I needed a 24-inch bass drum. The metal band that I play in is like a doom stoner metal band. So I needed a big, huge 24. 26 is a little too much for me. But I wanted 20 because it's fun. And also when you play like a 26-inch bass drum, everyone immediately is like, oh, you're being like fucking John Bonham. So the 24, which is what the D drum that I used to play had. And man, that D drum, this Mapex makes great shit, man. If I'm not mistaken, you could correct me in the chat if someone knows. I think Mapex started as the company who made everybody else's stuff in like Taiwan, I'm sure. And they were just the company that all these other places would have their stuff made at. And then they decided to make their own shit. And one of my best friends had one of the Mapex Saturns, and I fell in love with that drum set. So yeah, I've got 5 drum sets now, 4 that are playable, 3 that are playable, because the electronic drum set again is for my teaching. Because I really think that, especially with the way that the world is now, I'm going to be doing more teaching over Skype and Zoom than I will live, which is kind of a bummer. It's something I haven't figured out with my little kids, like my 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids. I've been struggling with how to connect with them over Zoom. I have no problem doing that in the same room, because as I say all the time, I'm a fair to middling drummer, but I'm a fantastic fucking drum teacher. And when I have kids in the room with me, it's no problem. Peck, I am not in Florida, but it seems like everybody wants to go to Florida. Everybody's moving to Florida. Like if everyone who has means, seems like they're all moving to Texas and Florida for obvious reasons, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, 3 drum sets now that I regularly use, and then 1 that I'm going to fix up and use regularly, and then an electronic set. And then I've got, 4 or 5 snare drums. Let's see. Let's go through and chat here. I've got a question up here. Pearl 8-piece Peck. Pearl is releasing these like reissues of, because Pearl and Tama both started out as like Japanese ripoffs of American drums in the 60s. So like Stars was Tama, and they were making basically like Slingerland ripoffs. And I can't remember what Pearl was called in the 60s, but they were making like rip-off drum sets of American drums. And at my music store that I bought the drum shop, actually, and I want to talk about that too. The drum store that I bought this Mapex from, he had just got in this, like I think they're calling it the Pearl President series. It's like 75th anniversary of Pearl, which they weren't Pearl at the time. And man, they're dope. Like if they're real dope, they're kind of that real thin shell, kind of junky 60s rip-off drum set. It's cool. It's really, really cool. Let's see. What kind of kick do you use? Well, that's what we're going to talk about there. Johan 8s, if that's how you say your name. Johan. I've got an 18 on my jazz kit or travel kit. And I got a 22 for my standard everyday kit. And I got that 24, which is for the Doom stoner metal band that I'm in. Let's see. I was going between Pearl Session Studio Select. Man, here's the thing about drum sets. And I worked in a music store. Well, I've worked at a drum shop up until yesterday. We'll talk about that for 22 years, because I started there in 1999, like my senior year of college, my first senior year of college. Here's the thing about drums, man. If you spend a lot of money on them, it's like a truck. If they're expensive, they're going to be sweet. You know what I mean? Like I've always thought that the best way to judge the quality of a drum company is how nice their lower end stuff is, which is why I think Pearl Exports are terrible. Pearl Exports are just a terrible drum set in general. Although Damon Shea played one and he made it sound good. High end shit, man. You buy a $3,000 drum set, it don't matter what brand it is, it's going to be sweet. Like you buy a Tama Star Classic, if you buy like what you said, the Pearl Session Studio Select. Those are high-end drum sets. They're going to sound great. And at that point, it's just about what you want, what your preference is. Can't wait to hear you play. Johan 8. So you say you can't wait to hear hear me play it. Yeah, I probably will try to make a video from one of those gigs that the metal band's got coming up. I might try to go live. The last time I tried to go live, we were doing a live stream on a sound stage, and the sound stage was deep in this like industrial complex, and they didn't have internet. So I just went on just went on through cell phone service, and it looked terrible. It was worked out very, very badly for me. So yeah, moving in a new house. Hopefully we'll be moving in the next couple months again, if I find a house to buy. And when I do that, I will then be able to have a room where I can actually do some more playing. I'm never going to be I'm not a shred guy. I'm not going to see shred videos from me. Probably not going to see cover band videos from me, because like that market is just inundated and super saturated. But I'll probably, I don't know, I'll do something. I'll set up something which is actually going to bring into one of the big parts I'm doing this live stream. See, Daniel Lopez, you're so adorable and I love your energy. Thanks for existing and being you. Ditto, brother. Thank you. Let's see what else. Johan or Johan. You don't look 44. You look early 30s. Oh, that must be all that fucking clean living that I've done. Living in bars, playing in bars, and sleeping in vans all through my last however long. Oh my God. Rob West, go play cards, sir. Oh yeah, because I'm gonna talk about the channel revamp. I want to do some other things. I did something very strange this weekend that I had never done. I worked as a drum tech on Saturday. It was weird. It was strange. It was the easiest money that I've ever made. the guy that I'd been doing my cover band drummer or covers with the Drunk Uncle Radio, RIP. Two and a Hater. We're going to talk about the Drunk Uncles. That's funny you just said that because I just mentioned it. But the producer who did that also does he does a drum rental. What does like instrument rental stuff? And I guess he went through all the people he knew to do this one gig, and he got hold of me, and it was like a Saturday that had nothing to do, and I was like, yeah, I'll go drum tech. And it was drum teching like a country gig, like I don't want to. I guess you won't know you don't know who I am, so I can kind of bury who these people were. First of all, first thing I want to know is, when did bro country sidemen start looking like hardcore metal guys from like the early aughts? Like, this main artist that was at this gig was a hick hop. Let me say that again. Hick hop artist. And it was fucking terrible. But like, it was an outside gig, and I just parked my car behind the stage. And anytime the band, the drummer switched out, I went up there and see if they needed anything. And then I just sat and it was hot as shit this weekend where I live. And I just sat in my car and I watched Pantera Vulgar videos, because somebody had taken all those VCR Vulgar videos, if y'all are Pantera fans. And I just, hey, what's up, Jonathan? Jonathan, an old student of mine, who's also now an artist as far as I can see. Oh yeah. So this just horrendous country music's going on. And basically all I did was I just set the drum set up. And if somebody wanted a configuration change, I did that, which nobody did. And then I sat in my car for like 4 hours, and I got paid a lot of money for it. It was stupid. Like, it was a big money gig for me to just go. I had to drive like an hour and 45 minutes to this place, set it up, do the thing, go home. So yeah, it was strange. What was great about it was I got paid to watch Pantera Vulgar videos, stuff I hadn't seen in forever. So, Two and a Hater, are the drunk uncles done? Unfortunately for now, yes. Jimmy is back touring again all the time. Adam got super busy with his stuff. And actually, John and Jimmy are now playing in a band that's gigging regularly. And I'm on a wrestling podcast, and my wrestling podcast, which is kind of like a cast of people, has really like taken up a lot of my time. So something had to go. And the Drunk Uncles was we did 11 episodes, and we may do it eventually. We're all, great friends. One day we might get around to do it again, but it never really was catching on. I don't think we ever did more than 1,000 views. I know that we had some really, and Two and a Hater, I know you were one of them. We had like some real loyal viewers when we would do those live premieres on Sunday. And I think we had something good, but just was never hitting. And the wrestling podcast that I'm doing right now is just banging. And I'm doing just blasting out content all the time, just complaining about modern professional wrestling. And that will actually kind of probably lead me into, and again, this is an AMA. So everybody just, if you have any questions, hit them up and I'll get to them eventually. I'm going to, it's time to revamp the channel for a couple reasons. Firstly, I think on Bo Burnham's special on Netflix, Inside, which is a genius piece of work. It is just a genius piece of work. If you haven't watched it, it's not it's not a comedy. It's not comedy, really. Jonathan, I bet you for sure you've watched that Bo Burnham episode, or that Bo Burnham special. But in that show, he pretty much just ended React videos. Like, he sent up React videos to the point where, like, he ended it. Just go watch it. He ends up reacting to himself, reacting to himself, reacting to himself, reacting. And like, I think it went 4 layers deep. And if you are a viewer of my channel, you know that I am not a classic React videos. channel. I do that for the algorithm. I'm an analysis channel. You know, I analyze what we see, and hopefully it can be used in an educational purpose. If you've watched any of the or heard any of the podcasts that I've been on the Working Drummer podcast, and I've been on the Big Fat Five podcast, and I've put on those podcasts that, you know, I am not lost in Vegas by any means, because I have a pretty damn decent working knowledge of what most drummers are doing and the act of reacting. But again, it's analysis. I think I'm going to still do them, but I'm going to do them way less. I'm going to do them way less. They're going to be more rare on the channel. I actually want my React videos to kind of end up being, what's up, Jose? And say hello to Chile. What's up, Chile? Peck, I got you here in a second. And the wrestling podcast, I'm not going to tell you what the wrestling podcast is, because if you are a regular viewer of me, you know that I am trying to remain anonymous. I am just Steve, the drum teacher, and I'm really myself in that wrestling podcast. Like, they call me by my name and such, and you would know who I am and where I'm from, and I don't want any of that. I just want to be known as Steve, the drum teacher on YouTube. Where's that? Where was I at? Bo Burnham, destroying React videos. Go watch Inside. It's just one of the best things I've seen in a while. And he just destroys the React videos. He just sends them up, and honestly, I think a lot of just like React videos that are just people like high-fiving and laughing and not bringing anything to the content is bullshit. I think and I've been saying this a lot to the people around me, that I think that the bottom is falling out of that market. You know what I mean? Like, now that, you know, React videos have become so prevalent that now people are making fun of it, it's time to move on. And I'm kind of ready to move on. I'm going to still do them, but I want them to become more of like an event. Like, oh shit, he's going back and doing like a React video. Because I've done 120. Like the Vladislav Ulaznish from Ginger. That was my 120th React video in 2 years, right? 2 years and a few months. Let's see. Yeah, Daniel Lopez, I'm the same way. I don't really watch any React videos. The guy that the two people that I kind of took for influence was Wings of Pegasus and that Martin Jovovich guy, the fucking hip flexor guy, because he would actually talk about the content of what was going on and how they were doing it, and also talking about how the hip flexors was doing something. So that was where I got the idea to do this, because this is actually something, and Jonathan, you took lessons with me, you probably had this done with you. We would listen to something and we'd analyze that, and we'd figure out what we would, we would figure out. Oh, hold on for a second. My dog has something. Hold on. Sorry, I have a new rescue dog that has no manners and doesn't know to pick up stuff off the floor. Wings of Pegasus and the Martin Jovovich, the hip flexor guy. Those are the dudes done a pretty damn good job, because I went back actually a few times over the last couple months and listened to some of my old ones. Man, my clutch video is fucking awesome. I tell everything you need to know about that song, or most of the things you need to know about that song. But yeah, I'm going to be moving more into, and I'm going to be getting to the chat here in a minute, so y'all just keep it coming. I'm going to get more into music commentary. I don't know if I'm going to do reviews per se, because I think, Anthony got that down, and Punk Rock MBA's got that down, but it's going to be probably a little bit more like Punk Rock MBA. I want to talk about things more than just drummers, because you know, obviously I'm a drum teacher and a drummer, but like I just like music, and I can tell you this: the Ginger video that I just did, I thought was terrible. I think you can just tell that I'm disinterested. It's in the hips, not Harvey Weinstein. In the hips. That guy was great. I don't think he makes videos anymore, but I think I'm going to not think I'm going to go more into music commentary. I'll still do some React videos here and there because, you know, that's what this was built on. And I'm probably going to lose subs, and my views may go down for a while. But how long can you do React videos? I'm going to still do them every once in a while, but I'm going to do more stuff like I've got a list of videos I want to do, and some of them will be like 5 bands that I think should be more popular. You know, in that video, I'm going to talk about Quicksand. I'm going to talk about Foxy Shazam. I'm going to talk about who else? Lake Trout. If you're from Baltimore or the Maryland area, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm going to do one. I'm going to do one called The 5 Most Annoying Fan Bases. And it's going to be probably the first time that I've done any kind of negative. Well, no, I buried the Whiplash. I buried Lars. Those are really the only 2 times I've done anything that was really negative. Man, Foxy Shazam is fucking great. But I'll still do those videos, but I'm going to do them less. I will tell you that the next one I'm going to do is Alice in Chains, because, you know, you watch this, you know, I'm a Gen Xer, you know, that's where I grew up. You know, that was the reason why I became a musician, was, you know, grunge music and the Big Four. And I don't know how I have not done Sean Kinney yet, but I've done Dave Abbruzzese, and actually been emailing Dave Abbruzzese because he commented on my video and gave me his email. I've done 2 on Dave Grohl, I think. And then I've done 2 on Matt. I did one with him with the Soundgarden, and then another one of him playing with Pearl Jam. So Alice in Chains is going to be next. So I will still do them. Kenny is crazy underrated. I'm going to get to the chats here in a minute. And again, super chats are on. But yeah, like, again, I don't think of myself as a React channel. No, I'll do React stuff where, you know, it's drummers I've never heard, because I'd never heard like Ginger. But then during that Ginger video, I found myself, I was repeating some of the same educational shit that I'd done in other videos. And I was like, uh-oh, it might be time to do some other stuff. And I want to get into, because I've heard some other, I'll tell you what, let's go to the chat here. I got this slowed down. We're going up here. So 2 and a Hater. Are the drunk uncles done? I've covered that. Limp Bizkit did a Planet Caravan cover video. Oh God, man, when I did that Deftones video, I got so much. There's Limp Bizkit simps, man, because there's another negative thing I might have said. I think I've said Limp Bizkit was terrible like 2 or 3 times. Man, you would not believe how many people defend Limp Bizkit these days. It's kind of like they've like lasted so long that they were like popular, became a joke, and now are like respected now. Dude, I have no fucking idea how that works. Daniel Lopez, I don't like the React videos except for instances like you where you analyze a drummer. I'm not even a drummer. Yeah, I mean, that's what I am. I'm an analysis channel, but analyzes is not big in the algorithm. So I had to kind of slut myself out and use React there. And, you know, I envisioned it as something that like would be passed around in a music department by drummers. Like, hey, damn, you know, did you see, you know, Junk Drummer TV? He's not just reacting to bullshit. He's actually breaking down and talking about what they're doing and how you can apply that to your regular playing, which is a thing that I do in my regular practice. I do that all the time with my students. If Jonathan's still in here, I'm almost for certain we did it. So like, we'll play something, you know, something happens during the 3rd chorus, it's different from the first 2. We'll talk about that and why, right? What this channel's always been about. Jose, you're awesome, bro. Your low profile and knowledge is what we respect. Keep like this. Yeah, man, both podcasts, both of those guys thought I was messing with them. Ben and Zach. Again, I was on, if you want to go check that out, I was on Big Fat Five podcast and the Working Drummer podcast. And they both asked me where I was from. I was like, I wouldn't tell them. And they wanted to know my last name. And they knew my last name offline. But yeah, you could tell they were like, wait, you're a YouTuber and you want to stay anonymous? When I signed with an MCN, a multi-channel network, I'm with a company called BBTV, which has a lot of big channels like H3 is on there. I'm one of those smallest things that's on there. They were talking about like, oh, you need to up your social media stuff and like, Twitter and all that shit. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing any of that. I have an Instagram. And if any of y'all have tried to friend me on Instagram, I don't friend anyone on my Instagram because it's all my woodworking stuff. There's a few pictures of me playing in bands on there, but it's mostly shit that I make in my workshop. So so that wasn't a way that I was going to promote the channel, and I'm definitely not going to be on Twitter. What a fucking disaster that would be. So yeah, that's where that's at. Jose says React videos are a joke these days. Dude, Bo Burnham ended them. Like, he fucking ended them. Go watch it. Anybody with any respect for themselves, that's a React channel. And Garrett, I love you, brother. And Gary, I hear you. And that British dude is doing real well. Man, it's probably time to move on. And that's YouTube, right? If you're going to stay in this business for a while, you're going to have to evolve. And I've already found out that these more in-depth videos are going to be a lot harder. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of React channels, that's the reason why they are, because they're not really that hard. Like, again, Lost in Vegas, those cats are funny, but like, they're not hard to do. They take no time, right? Mine is a little more mentally straining because I'm actually trying to find things that I can interpret for in a teacher student type of way, so you all can get something out of it, right? That's what my channel has always been. Manuel Luis Pereira says Tank the Tech is very good reactor. He talks about the gear bands use. See, yeah, stuff like that. Like, it can be done. Like Wings of Pegasus, that British cat, he's really good. Like, I watched him do a Tommy Emmanuel video. If you don't know Tommy Emmanuel, he's a Australian or New Zealand finger picking acoustic guitar guy. And he was like breaking down what he was doing, right? So if you were a guitar player and you were literate to what he was talking about, you could get something from that. And that is actually what fair use is, right? Like, if you're just going, that's awesome, fucking sweet, I'm high-fiving, that's not fair use. You're not transforming any of the content, and I never wanted to feel like I was ripping off somebody and just using their fame. I was doing what I do in lessons. And quick advertisement, I am accepting lessons over Skype and Zoom if you are interested. Godzilla X32, any purchases from Zymox? I've been waiting for 2 years now. I don't know what Zymox is. Two and a hater, what's the new dog's name? The new dog's name is Faye. That's as in Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop. And no, I'm not a weeb, but I love Cowboy Bebop because the music in that shit is phenomenal. Faceless Melancholy, Junk Drummer, I freaking love your channel. Good to see you. Thank you, man. And good to see you all. Nick Simmons, what's up, Nick? You could branch out and type in something like Vietnamese New Wave or Colombian Death Rock to see what pops up and review those. Godzilla, do you play other instruments besides drums? Yeah, I play a little bass. I know enough chords to be dangerous on a guitar. TLS 234. The React format is probably tired, like you're saying, but the interest in analysis probably isn't going anywhere, which is why I'm going to still do those. I am going to still do them. There's just going to be less. I'm just going to put more into, even the editing of them. Really, man, I've been watching a lot of Punk Rock NBA, and I think that guy's great. And I could do something like that and not and be out of his sandbox, because he has, that kind of era that he and kind of bands that he knows a lot about. I think I can do something like that. I've got a list of things I'm going to do. I'm going to do like my top 10 favorite bands, top 10 favorite records. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you all, give me some help. Let's see. Foxy Shazam. I like it, dude. Foxy Shazam is the best rock and roll newer, which I know they've been around for a while, but they haven't really blown up. That last record with I Like It on it, they're the best rock and roll band in America. Like, I know a lot of people are into Greta Van Fleet, and I hear you. Foxy Shazam, that's the fucking truth. And we're going to talk about that in my first video that's going to change and revamp my channel. Goddamn Foxy Shazam, I love them. I want to open up for them so bad. Molly Lacurdo, Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, man, I just started watching it again. And actually, this dog is a rescue. My best friend, who's the bass player in my metal band, his next door neighbor moved under the cover of darkness and just left a dog in the backyard. And before Parker it was out there for like 5 days before Parker realized there was a dog back there. So like the last Monday, we went back there and like ripped down part of a fence, because I didn't give a shit, and got the dog. And yeah, it's a big ass blue pit bull who has no manners and is dumb and is definitely under 2 and has to be completely retrained. I used to work as a dog trainer, so I shouldn't have too much problem with it. But yeah, some douche just left this dog, this magnificent dog. If you know anything about pit bulls, I have had 4 now in my life, because Bonham's sitting over there, and then I've got a pit bull beagle mix sitting right there, and then Faye's back there. It's got to be, it had to be an expensive dog. Those blue, and I think it's a gator pit, if you know what that is, which is a bloodline, because it's kind of got the short nose and wide mouth. Dude, this person who left that dog had to be expensive as shit. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a sweetheart. It's just like, if you're a pit bull owner, oh my God, they're so fucking needy. They're the most neediest girlfriend you ever had. A pit bull is 3 times worse, because they need to be on you all the time, being petted by you constantly. The 2 other dogs aren't digging her too much. Another was a big problem with that, with meeting the dogs like that, is she was in heat, which I think might have been why they left her, because she was very much in heat. And my 2, and I've only ever had female dogs, and my 2 female dogs are like, oh, what's this, in heat teenager coming in here. So yeah, one of the things I've had to teach her is how to just be alone and just be by herself. And like, right now I'm making her sit on a dog bed just so she doesn't get, because pit bulls, man, if you're a dog admirer and one that likes to pet dogs all the time, they can wear you out. They'll not ever stop. They'll just be on you constantly. And she's probably the neediest pit bull that I've ever had. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, don't talk about ginger. Something gingers. What is this? Whatever you do, I'm still going to give you a hard time from time to time. BMW rules. Whatever you do, I'm still going to give you a hard time from time to time. Yeah, man. Do we like busting balls around here, man? This is like Letterkenny at where I'm from. Like, it's Southern. Like, we bust the balls of those we love. 2 and a hater, being totally honest. I actually prefer when you find a part and break it down versus reacting to a whole song. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to do more of. Any chance of getting Amberzese on the channel? Man, dude, he's a flake. Yeah, he'll contact me and talk to me, and then he won't talk to me for a while. And I haven't heard from him in about 6 months now. Nick Simmons. Oh, dude, Nick Simmons. You, sir, have picked out at least 2 of the bands that are going to be in the video of the top 5 most annoying fans. I am not going to tell you which 5 or which 2 they are, but boy, you are all over it. And I'll be honest, the 2 that I picked, that you picked, there's one other that you did that almost made the cut. Nick Simmons, you're on top of it, brother. Have you done Matt Price? Have you done JP from Clutch? Have I done JP from Clutch? It's one of my best fucking videos. I watched that 2 days ago. It's episode 82. It's fucking great. And it was JP's birthday the other day, a couple of days ago. And I meant to post it in my community tab because I fucking love that video. And that video has my top 5 favorite stories that I have ever told on the channel. It's about me meeting Jean Paul. Yeah, man, I've done Clutch. Of course I have. And that's another thing. I'm getting to the point now where like people keep asking, like some commenter today asked for me to do Hearts All Gone by Travis Barker. Like I did that 2 years ago. I'm to the point now where like people are asking for it and I've done it. You know what I mean? But I will keep doing them, but I'm going to do other things. And I think I'm going to feel some pain from it. You know, I don't think that it will hit the algorithm as big as when you do it with a name. But I mean, I think I really do think the bottom is falling out because like I checked Garrett's views and his look down. Andrew Rooney looks like he's doing decent. But it seems like a lot of and here's another thing. When I started this channel 2 years ago, there were like 1 or 2 other drum teacher reacts videos. Now, I'm not saying that I was on the vanguard of this or that I was an influence of it, but I know that when I started 2 years ago, there was a lot of vocal coach, and I knew that their Wings of Pegasus was going. There's that one like fresh face guitar teacher guy that's really good, that actually plays when he does his reacts. But there weren't many, and now there's goddamn 1,000 drum teacher reacts videos. So I'm just not going to try to compete with them. I'm just going to go move on because I've got other things I can talk about. But I will still do the analysis. Like I said, I'm going to do Alice in Chains next. Oh yeah, and then I'm going to also just because it will be fun. I'm going to do this video that's. I'm not going to say it just in case another drum reactor is watching because it's getting like that at this point. I don't want to get involved with all that. Yeah, Nick Simmons, you're so dead on with all those. Yeah, interview Dave Ebersese. That's the fucking plan. I'm trying. 2 and a hater. I also loved your interview with Board and talking with the convo turned into his technique, and you both got so engaged. Man, that Board Colstott video is. I'll give myself a Barry Horowitz right there. I prepared my ass off for that. I listened to so much of him and watched as much as I could with him because him and Will Hunt. And I didn't get to talk about Will Hunt. I don't know if that guy's in here. If the Will Hunt buddy is still in here, let me know. But I knew that like the Will Hunt Evanescence video, and that's another thing. It's another thing that's about the channel Revamp is I want to do more interviews. I want to get bigger interviews. If you all have not watched the Dorothea Taylor video, that's the godmother of drumming. That's a fucking good interview. I got really good shit out of her. She was very sheepish at first because she saw that I'd done Steven Taylor, the drum teacher on YouTube, and she was like, "Oh, I'm not very talkative. I'm not like talkative like Steven." I was like, "Well, nobody's as polished as Steven Taylor is." Like I told her, I was like, "I'll be very accommodating. Come on." That Dorothea Taylor's interview is great. You please go watch that. And yeah, with the Board, I was very happy. And what's really funny is I think Board released the information about them having a new record before anyone else did, because that video definitely got cut up on other leprous channels and like Facebook groups. And that section where he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't know if I can talk about this, but we're going to release a new record." And he said December, but the record's actually coming out in August. So I got like a scoop on that. And none of those videos have blown up yet, but I think they will. And I'm just now started uploading them in podcast form. I can tell you that the next guy I'm going to try to get, and I haven't contacted him yet, but I think I can. I'm going to try to get 6'6" Samus. Oh, I think he's hilarious. He actually put the kibosh on React videos a while ago because he reacted to a reaction video. He reacted to Martin Jovovich, however you say his name. So like even back then, like that was the writing was on the wall that React videos weren't going to be around for weren't going to be really popular for very long. So yeah, that board video, I was really, really happy with that. Ernie Castillo. Do you ever do React videos on Kid Prodigy drummers? So many up-and-coming drummers. I did JD Beck. The problem with those, Kid Prodigy drummers is they're usually doing covers, and I don't do covers. I've done a few. I did the one-armed man playing Slipknot. I mean, fuck, if you're going to make an exception, that's a guy to do it. And I've actually talked to that guy, Jack. I can't remember what his name is. The Christmas videos that I've done, they had to be covers. But like the whole point of my analysis videos was, the reasons why someone did something. And I want to talk about the person who made that decision, not someone who, even though it is, it is something that is cool to watch, but that kid didn't make that decision and didn't record that song, right? Let's see. Harvey Weinstein said, got to go practice working on Fool in the Rain. Man, the key to that Fool in the Rain is that hi-hat opening. That hi-hat opening that's on the, I think it's on the lay of 2 right before the snare drum. That's the tricky one on that. Zymox makes marching snare pads and have terrible customer. Oh, Jeremy Verbe. Okay, Jason Verbe. Oh, they make great stuff. I've got one of my tenor students has one. They're really nice. But man, a lot of 2 years I think is a bit much, right? Sound like if it's been 2 years, if that's who you were talking about. Somebody said that they'd been ordered something from Zymox and it's been 2 years. I think he got ripped off. Now, if you order something right now, the supply chains are fucked. Like if you're getting something, and of course, if it's coming from China or if it's Taiwan, which is what, where everything that most things that we hit with a stick are made. I looked out, and when I got this Mapex Mars, the old drum store that I work at or used to work at, I'll talk about that later. That'd be one of the last things I talk about. They just happen to have the sizes and the finish I wanted, because I was going through some cats on eBay and they were just like, dude, we can order you that 14-inch floor tom, but it could be fucking months. But yeah, that Zymox stuff, that stuff's nice. Let's see. Rob Pierce, man, I'd love to see your reaction to Anthony Barone's playthrough of Grave Singer. Kid's the Beast. I might get to it. Jason Verbe, thoughts on Glassjaw? I don't know anything about Glassjaw. And that's another thing that I've been thinking about is like a band like Glassjaw, like I've never heard of, is just digest as much as I can of it and then do a video of my thoughts on listening to a band that I'd never heard before. Like that's something that I've been really thinking about doing. Rob Pierce, I have a blue pit. He's amazing. Man, pit bulls are the best dogs in the world. If you don't like pit bulls, man, I don't know about you. Let's see. Since we're doing an AMA, Matt Price Plucky. Marcus King's drummer is very good. I opened up for Marcus King back when he wasn't big. It was about 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. He looked, he's a baby. I think he was like 19 when we opened up for him. If he's got the same drummer, that dude is real bad. Molly Lacurto. Molly, you are the one girl that watches my channel. You and Alicia. That's about it. I'm wondering what your thoughts on using drum samples to record versus a live kit. Man, I think I'm okay. Jason, I'll got you here in a minute. I really think I'm okay with being a dinosaur on this. And I've recorded like a metal record, but again, it's like a doom stoner, and like that clicky sound replacement type shit isn't really vogue in those drum sounds. Vinnie Paul did it. I think I'll just get off my lawn guy about this. Like using drum samples live to reproduce like something that was done in the studio, maybe I can see. But like, just take the time and get the gear and tune it and hit it the right way and get a good fucking sound. I can see it being a way to get something quick, but can always tell. I can always tell. Like, if you know anything about engineering, if you know anything about the art of recording, we know what fucking that sound is. Just tune your stuff. Tune your shit and make it sound good. Jason Verbe, I'm going to guess Tool and Radiohead. You'll find out, but yeah, that's pretty damn impressive that you were able to pick those. Because, man, just some fan bases you just know are fucking annoying. And a lot of times a detriment to the band itself. We'll talk about that. Musical music. Great to see you back. What's up, brother? I'll talk to you a bunch. Let's see. Rob Pierce. Have you ever heard of a 90s grunge band called Grammar Train? Their drummer, Paul Roraback, is friggin' amazing. No, I haven't. Nick Simmons. I stagehand a bunch of shows and did some that will have that. Let me do that again. I stagehand a bunch of shows and did some that will make you hate someone mentioning said band or song. In short, not every song is layered like an onion. Boy, there was no layers at the gig I did. Holy shit. What we really need is about 10 more episodes of analysis of that Japanese solo performer art scene player. Oh, man. And what's funny is 66 Samus did one too, not long after I did. I tried not to be as negative as I wanted to be in that. And I like the avant-garde, man. I like out shit. I like, trying to stay making art that's not being made by other people and things that aren't in the mainstream. But I think that dude's a fucking charlatan. And I think he probably gets paid a lot to do that. Yeah, man, that was Rob Pierce almost joined Future Leaders of the World with Evanescence bass player Tim. Laugh out loud. Glad that didn't work out. Future Leaders of the World. I don't know that band. I love Evanescence though. Man, I'm a nerd for Amy Lee. Oh my God, she's so great. And the Will Hunt video, that's the video that really made it possible for me to get other names. Because, everybody has a fucking podcast. But when I was like, hey, I did Evanescence, it gave me a little accreditation. And I wasn't just anybody. Let's see. Jason Verbe, you should do a reaction of William Goldsmith. Oh, man, poor William. Poor William. And that's funny because this is right before this question. Dude, couldn't fucking made this better. Jason Verbe says, you should do a reaction to William Goldsmith, Sunny Day Real Estate. I feel like he might be willing to be interviewed as well. Maybe. And then Musical Music asks, who is better, Taylor Hawkins or Dave Grohl? I can tell you it's not William Goldsmith because he, got the hook. God, man, that guy's got to fucking wake up every day and hate life, knowing that he got the hook from the biggest rock band of the last 30 years. I feel bad for that guy. Holy shit. God, that sounds... William Goldsmith, he probably won't do interviews, really. What are you going to say? Like, hey, man, remember when you're like in the Foo Fighters? Two and a hater, what made you pick the Mapex for the new kit? That is a good question because it was one of the few, actually the only, I think maybe PDP does, but it was the only set that I could find that was a pre-pack because it was I got the pre-pack 24, 12, and 16 and an add-on 10 and 14 because I had to have the 2 up, 2 down that had the 24 in it. I think a lot of drum companies are missing out on having more variety in their pre-packs. And I really found that out during Christmas time because I had about 3 or 4 students' parents that were wanting me to give them, links to drum sets that they could buy their kids. And man, I just found the amount of variety in setups very much wanting. And my buddy has a Mapex Pro and I played his and I loved it. And it's loud and it could be thundery. And that's what it's got to be because my metal band is loud. Like, my cousins came and saw our band and she said she could feel it in her stomach. Like, we're loud excuse me, we're loud like a jet engine going off. It's fucking excruciating loud. Let's see. Matt Price. Molly. Sorry. I'm sorry. Let's see. An idea. Okay, Matt Price Plucky. An idea like talk to some of you. An idea like talk to some of us about crazy or best shows. I was at the Ozfest 97 riot, and a couple years later got yelled at by Dave Mustaine for not having a pen. Sounds like something Dave Mustaine would do. God, Dave Mustaine just seems like. And I love Megadeth, but yeah, he seems like he might be insufferable. I got some stories. I was at a And Justice for All tour with who opened up? Matt Sorum was the drummer. Fire, the fucking Cult. The Cult opened up, and there was almost a fucking riot. Like people started smashing up against the stage. Molly Lacurto, yes, we need more solo snare playing. You should do a cover of it. Like the solo cover of the Japanese dude. I think he's Canadian, but he's Japanese. Todd Knack, love your vids. Are you ever going to react to Mitch Mitchell? I can't, because Jimi Hendrix, whoever controls his shit, whoever controls his material shuts it down. Go search Jimi Hendrix on YouTube right now, and you can't find it. Go search Prince on YouTube right now, and it ain't on there. I don't want to bury that dude, Molly. He's got, man, good on him. Like, that guy's getting paid, and people seem to be fans of his, and it takes absolutely no effort, and really just takes the ability to not be embarrassed to do what he does. So, I mean, man, fuck. Can't knock his hustle. Mickey D is one of those drummers that was crazy technical, but knew when to be straight killer beast on a dime. Huge inspiration. Dude, that's another one. I got to do Mickey D. There's a guy that's bad me. There's somebody that has been watching my videos pretty much from the beginning, and I've promised a Mickey D video, and I've never done it. That's going to be another one I got to do. Shit, I got to do that. That's bad. That's bad, Steve. I don't think you're the one, but I've had a bunch of Mickey D. Do you have Swearingen from fucking? Oh, it's you. Oh, dude, you've been asking that long, and you have Deadwood as your avatar. I mean, I gotta hook you up, brother. I'll get you. I get you. Jonathan Hodges, of course you asked this question. What's the worst show you've ever been to? I've honestly never really been to a like if you say show, man, Deadwood's one of the greatest things that's ever been fucking recorded. I never watched the movie because I was afraid. I was afraid that the movie would destroy those 3 seasons. Should I watch the movie? Because I do have HBO Max. Because I watch all those DC comics or comic book videos, cartoons. Movie is solid. But Jonathan, like, if it's like a name act, like you bought a ticket and go to it, I don't think I've ever seen a bad one. I can tell you that, like, when I saw the Rolling Stones on the Voodoo Lounge tour that in Indianapolis at the Hoosier Dome, it's called the Hoosier Dome at the time, I can tell you that I saw Counting Crows get booed for fucking 45 minutes. And then I realized that, like, the last thing as a band that you ever want to do is open for the Rolling Stones. Because, man, and I was a kid, so I was like in high school. I was like, oh, everybody's here to see it. Daniel Lopez, I'll see you, brother. I was young, and maybe I was one of the first concerts I ever been to. And I was just naive, like, well, we got tickets. Let's see what everybody has to offer. And man, fucking Counting Crows came out, and it was beer bottles being thrown and booze, the loudest booze you could ever hear, man. I felt so bad for them. Because I think August and everything after is a fantastic record, man. It's a fucking great record. It's a phenomenal record, man. Go back and listen to that. I listened to that a few months ago. It's fucking great. Drums are great. Song's great. Whoever's playing the keyboards on that record's great. You know what I mean? But yeah, Rolling Stones fans, whoo, hey, we're not having it. They wanted the Stones and they wanted them now. TLC 3234. I got to go, but with the React thing, you should do whatever format you want because you're a chill guy. And so if you're having fun with the format, people enjoy it and have fun with you. And keep doing the know your roles. They're cool. That's something I'm really, I can't wait to get be able to call like Kenny Aronoff and him going on. Like I'm going to grow that interview channel because I think I'm getting pretty damn good at it. I started, the very first one was with my best friend, who's the drummer for Tyler Childers. And it's cool, but it's a little meandering. And then I did Harry Myrie, and I thought it was cool. But man, I hit my fucking stride on Board Colstott and Dorothea Taylor. If y'all have not watched Dorothea, you've got to go see that one. It's great. She is a hardcore lady. She is not your, make cookies for you, mama. She's like, go practice right now, mama. Man, I love her. She's heavy. She's heavy duty, man. She was awesome. Laya Swearingen. Here's a good one, which is the best drummer who played with Prince ranked personal favorite. Oh shit. Yeah, that's one that's going to go down in my list. Yeah, Prince's drummers ranked. And so that's another thing with these videos is it's going to involve more work on my part, which I'm really willing to do because there's going to be a lot of studying up to do these kind of more involved videos. I'm really excited to do it. I think after 2 years of talking, jacking my jaws on YouTube, I think I'm pretty damn good at it. I wish I was a little more articulate. I wish I was smoother. I think that's part of my weird redneck charm. Not a redneck, hillbilly. I'm a hillbilly. Didn't you promise a Zappa's drummers too? Yeah, I'm going to have to do that too. And the Zappa drummer will be easy. With Prince, so much of what Prince, if you think of like Prince's hits, those aren't drummers, those are programmed parts. I'm scared to do that Zappa drummer video because like if you know anything about the Zappa fan base, and I don't think they're annoying, but I think that they're unnecessarily cultish. And if I say that Vinny is my favorite, Zappa drummer, then I'm going to get fucking hammered. And where do you put Jimmy Carl Black? Jimmy Carl Black is not a great drummer. You know what I mean? He was the Indian in the band. He wasn't a great drummer. But if you put Jimmy Carl Black last, that's going to be hard. I may just try to do it as a discussion of Zappa's drummers. And that's that could be a 45-minute fucking video. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that drum. I'll have to do that Zappa drummer thing. Okay, Javier Martinez. What size of trucks do you use from Chile? You're like the second person from Chile in here. Or were you the first guy? I use a drumstick that they don't make anymore, and I don't know what I'm going to do once I once I play through the 40 pair that I have left. Regal Tip. What the fuck is going on? I've been meaning to do this. Regal Tip, I think Regal Tip is a fantastic company. I love the finish that they put on their sticks. I'm a real sweaty dude when I play. I sweat like Shaq when I play. And so when my hand heats up, the finish that's on those, and they're not polyurethane. I don't know what the finish is that they use. It's not lacquer either, I don't think. But I use a drumstick that's discontinued by a company that I don't even know if they exist anymore. Because I've actually called the fucking main number and got nobody. But I use Regal Tip Illy Bees, which is Billy Martin's drumstick. And the reason why I love it, I don't think I have one around. Oh, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've got about 40 of these, and these are the last ones on the earth, apparently. It's a 16 and a half, which I like a half-inch longer drumstick. And it's kind of thin. It's I think it's maybe under a 5A, but here's this. I think I've done this on a live stream before, is this slight reverse taper. So it tapers down and then tapers back out before it gets to the point. This is the best stick I've ever used. It is the best bounce stick. This barrel tip gets a fucking good sound on any rod that you use it on. This is my everyday playing drumstick. Now, those sticks would last a song and a half in the metal band. So in the metal band, I use the Vader Extreme 5A nylon tip. And then I actually spray them with lacquer. I'll spray them with lacquer because I want that steel feel to look like a Regal tip. Does anyone know what the fuck happened to Regal tip? I know that Regal tip was going from one way of producing their drums or their drumsticks to another. They were going from a grinder to a cutter. And then just, you can't get them. Just go try to find a Regal tip anywhere. It sucks. Regal tip's great. Let's see. Dan Falls, like how Circle of Tone got destroyed by the Sabbath fan base. That's that first video, or it's going to be the second video that I do that's going to be part of the revamp, and I'm going to get ready to go here in a minute. Fan bases. Yeah, I'm not going with 5Bs. I have gigantic hands. Like, I'm 6'1", but I have the hands of like a 6'5" person. And for some reason, I just don't like a beefy stick. I just like that 5A just feels natural. Again, freakishly large hands. But yeah, I've always used something in a 5A. 7A's too thin. 5Bs, I don't know. I think maybe from just years of playing marching band, just sick of slinging all that weight around. And so, yeah, 5A, it's been a 5A type stick. I mean, in the metal band, because I use a rock rod and rock hi-hats by Zildjian, I need something that I can bash the fuck out of them. I hit so hard in that metal band. There's videos. There's a couple live streams of me playing in the metal band. If you go check out, maybe look under live streams or me playing, it's in there. One last story. I'm going to wrap it up. So, and if you're in here, keep bringing the questions and comments, and I'll do a little last one here at the end. Yesterday, when I went to go get that drum set, it was a kind of a bittersweet day because I've been dreaming about getting this new drum set for a while. I've been wanting to get this drum set for a while, and I went to go get it at the drum shop. So for 22 years, I've taught at a drum shop in the town over, which is about an hour away. And then I also, in my hometown, teach at a music store that has a music school attached to it, right? And I've worked at that one place for 22 years. And once the pandemic happened, nobody was, you weren't allowed to teach, which that's a whole other thing. Like, you just, government saying you can't work. I stopped working there, and then what students could, they started on Zoom and Skype lessons. And so I had all of my stuff at that old studio, and that's a studio that I've taught out of for 22 years. And it was something that I took as a medal of honor, like a badge of honor. These days, nobody works anywhere for that long. Like, it's just not how the economy works anymore. And I've worked there for 22 years. And when I went and got that drum set, I talked to, and he was never my boss because it was a place I rented from. And, I rented the space, but he was a good friend of mine. And he would sometimes work under boss auspices, if you know what I mean. But I sat there and I talked to him for about 2 hours. I hadn't seen him since last year, since, the pandemic, like everybody else in my life. And I got my new drum set and I was super happy. And then I went into my old studio and I cleaned it out, cleaned all the stuff out that I had in there. And I worked there for 22 years. That's how I built my clientele. That's how I really learned to be a teacher. And they don't really teach you how to be a teacher in music school. They got to teach you how to practice and how to show up on time. But yeah, it was a very sad day. And Tom, if you're watching, thank you for allowing me to teach there, because I'm probably not going to go back, because all of my students that I did have there are on Zoom and Skype now. And but yeah, that was a downer yesterday. I was happy to get this badass new drum set. I can't wait to go. My band's got practice on Sunday. The metal band's practice on Sunday. I got a band practice with Miss Sasha tomorrow. But yeah, breaking down my studio. I had to get my new beats. I hadn't had my new beat hi-hat since like March of last year. I got all my tables and all my books and stuff out of there, and it was a very downer thing. And it's a unfortunate what has happened to all of these 1099 workers over the last year or last 14 months or whatever. But this isn't a political channel, so we're not going to talk about all that. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this live stream. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, to put a point on it, be ready, and I hope you're ready to take that journey with me into new and different contents. I will still sporadically do those analysis videos, but they're going to end up being more of an event. I want it to kind of turn me like, oh, wow, he's doing another React video again. Instead of, here's another week, here's another React video. Because I've done 120 of them. I've done a shit ton of them. And I think that I have put together a body of work that I can be very proud of, and that anyone who knows a little bit about drumming or education, or who wants, some education from the greats, I think I did that, and I'm going to do a little bit more of it. But I hope y'all are all ready to move with me, and I hope I am able to do as good a job on this, these next chapter of the channel, because I think you need to stay ahead, man. I really think that the React video thing is dying. And remember, I do analysis videos. To an hater, it has been my pleasure to entertain you over the last year plus. I never thought I would be entertaining. I thought I could be informative, but I never thought I'd be entertaining. But I do appreciate that you think that I entertained you. So there you go. I know with that being said, I'm going to do a really fun, what I think will be a funny, out of the ordinary React video next week. Be on the lookout for that. I think I've been waiting to do this one for a while, and it's going to be something a little bit different. And hopefully within the week after that is when I will do the top 5 most annoying fan bases. Edutainment. I'll take edutainment. But yeah, hopefully in 2 weeks you will see the beginning of the new Junk Drummer TV. And again, if y'all are interested in lessons, hit me up at junkdrummertv@gmail.com, because I'm taking them. And everybody be cool. And I hope everyone is happy. Everybody stay happy. Just like Pharrell said. So thank you all for joining in, and I will see you all next week.